Hello there, NintendoGBR fans and followers alike. Hope you're all well. Welcome to another episode of Nintendo, My Life and I, with me, NintendoGBR. So, Nintendo is continuing to frustrate and wind up its loyal fan base by keeping silent on anything NX related. Why? Why are you doing this, Nintendo? And I'll be posing the question, is Nintendo becoming Apple again? Hello there, one and all, welcome to another episode of Nintendo, My Life and I, with me, NintendoGBR. Hope you're all well, having a good week out there. I know some of us are going somewhat stir-crazy, waiting for any kind of update or news item on the Nintendo NX. And to be perfectly honest, as a Nintendo fan myself, one that has grown up with everything that is Nintendo, it's getting beyond a joke. Now, I'm all for hype. You know, I like that kind of, that build-up, that feeling, that excitement, the little snippets of information here and there. But all we've had is rumour. You know, for all we know, the NX won't be a hybrid. It will just be a console or something. And, you know, everyone's just made up absolutely everything that we've ever known about the NX. To be fair to Nintendo, they have been incredibly secretive. I don't know, I think I read somewhere that maybe they're putting guns to people's heads and threatening their families, kind of mafioso style, because I've never ever quite realised, or realised is probably the wrong word, I've never quite known secrecy on a level like this. So, getting back to what I said in the introduction, is Nintendo becoming Apple again? And I say again for a particular reason. When a Nintendo launched the Wii console in 2006, I think that was in Europe, maybe 2005, I think it was a worldwide launch, 2006, there was lots of commentary on the fact that you couldn't see the word Nintendo on the box, but what you could see was the brand name Wii. And when you looked at the packaging and you looked at how the console looked, everything was very sleek. Everything had very slim lines. It looked very nice. It was meant to fit in with people's lifestyles, and it was a good price. But more importantly, I do remember people discussing the fact that this was very Apple-esque, not Apple-esque, Apple-esque, and I started to take note of this, and I thought, do you know what? I think some people have a point. That maybe they're looking at the Apple model of how they do things, and they was trying to capture that. Now, whether or not they were or not, we'll never know, but I always remember that. And then, obviously, just recently, Nintendo turned up unannounced at the Apple conference and announced Super Mario Run, which is going to be a new Mario game, which is going to start off on iOS before going to Android. So, there's another little nod to Apple. Now, I don't know if it's me, or if it's what I've been reading, but it does seem to me that Nintendo are trying to wait and launch this console in the smallest time frame possible. Now, there are some problems with this because when you have a smartphone, you kind of know what the next upgrade is going to be. Granted, there may be small little things, but at the end of the day, if you're kind of into your tech, the next smartphone is going to be very, very similar, barring a couple of extras, exclusives. So you kind of know what you're getting already. But when you're buying a home video games console, you don't always know what you're going to get. You think you do, but you need that information. And I'm concerned in regard to this with Nintendo, because if they're going down the Apple route and they want to kind of unveil this console within a few months of it launching, you know, you've got to allow for people to save up. You've got to allow for people to think about whether or not it's going to be a product for them. You've got to see if they think the games are going to be exclusive enough. So, you know, I think when you're launching a console, you have to give your consumer time to consume the information, think about it, and then make a decision on whether or not you're going to do it. So, if Nintendo are going to go down the Apple route, they're going to have to start making systems that are very similar, which would be quite sad. We don't want that from Nintendo. They're innovators. They come up with stuff. Something different. I suppose Apple are innovators, but you get where I'm going with this. Maybe I'm going slightly off of tangent, but, you know, let me know what you think about that. Is Nintendo becoming Apple again? Or are we going to see the two companies merge in the future? I know that Apple has just ludicrous amounts of wealth, and they have so much wealth that I think they're kind of trying to buy up different companies to kind of get rid of some of their wealth. I think. If I'm wrong, correct me on that. But let me know what you think about that. After this, we are going to be looking at Nintendo NX news. Welcome back, guys and girls. Okay, so what has been going on in the world of Nintendo NX rumours? Today being Thursday, the 29th of September. So we are going to be looking at a few stories, some interesting stories this week, to be perfectly honest. The first one I thought was quite interesting was coming out of Nintendo of Canada, I believe. I'm going to read you the article here. And it is Nintendo censors Canadian interview for daring to mention NX. I'm getting this from Nintendo Life. And it was published by a gentleman called Damien McFerrin. Now, I'm going to read direct from it. To say that Nintendo is being tight-lipped about its forthcoming NX system is something of an understatement. We know it's coming in March next year, and we know that an announcement will happen before then, but aside from that, there's very little else going on right now, at least on an official level. Well, we knew that, right? Do you know what I mean? We knew that. Nintendo is keeping such a tight lid on all things NX that it is now censoring interviews which have only the slightest mention of the platform. Game Skinny recently attended a Yokai Watch 2 sneak peek event in downtown Toronto and got the chance to speak to Nintendo of Canada Communications manager Andrew Collins, but any talk of the NX was quickly shot down. So I'm now going to be Andrew Collins. Okay, so before we begin, let me just tell you that if you have any questions about the Nintendo NX, we'll probably be cutting this interview short. Person interviewing him. I guess it's really that bad, huh? Back to Andrew. Almost everyone leads the interview with that, and Nintendo is not ready to discuss this yet. Once we are, Nintendo will most likely hold a Nintendo Direct in the future before launch to discuss it. Okay, Andrew, you are a Nintendo representative, you need to chill out a little bit. Anyway, what the point of this story is, the same story appeared later on a different website, and all it then changed what it said to. I also had a chance to speak one-on-one with Andrew after the presentation. We discussed several topics ranging from the upcoming Pokemon titles to future Nintendo games and events. And then underneath it says, editor's note, a snippet of this conversation has been removed at the request of Nintendo of Canada. Why? I mean, what on earth would they be removing that comment for that he said that, but it's not ready to discuss it yet? I mean, to be perfectly honest, there's nothing wrong with that comment, is there? The only thing that I can think is that they maybe don't want negative press associated with the NX because maybe they considered what he had said to be somewhat negative. Maybe he was getting slightly irate, frustrated, and Nintendo didn't want to have any kind of negative connotation around the console. I don't know, but I do find that weird because you're censoring nothing. We've learnt nothing from that interview, unless they were just concerned that he may be giving the game away slightly. But he sounded about a Nintendo Direct. I don't know, but it was an interesting story. Okay, one I actually spotted and then retweeted on my Twitter feed, and if you're not following me already, it is at NintendoGBR, capital N for Nintendo, capital GBR, all one word. On my Twitter feed, I've retweeted it. It's from the Nintendo New York City store Twitter feed, and it says, on October 1st, due to a private event, the second floor of Nintendo New York City will be closed until 1 p.m. And then after it, it says on October 1st from 1 to 4 p.m, show your spirit and come dressed as your favourite yokai, because they're having like a yokai watch launch. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, there's two ways you can look at this tweet. Either you will be able to go into Nintendo store New York City, where I've been, and it's very good, on October the 1st, but you just can't go upstairs because they're just kind of getting stuff sorted out for the yokai watch launch. Or maybe, just maybe, it's going to be a Nintendo Direct to discuss the Nintendo NX because it is in October now and we're now leaving things very, very late. Some people are suggesting that it says that Nintendo planning the event on the upper level and that's why you can't access it. But really, to close a top floor up until the event opens, just to plan an event, I don't know. They could have done that the day before. Why are they leaving it so late? I don't know. I don't know, Nintendo, give me some information, please. Okay, and well, another interesting one was from the UK retailer Tesco. They added a Nintendo NX order page with a price tag of $349.99. Now, when I saw that price, I immediately thought, hold on, that's the same price as the Wii U. That's how much I paid for my Wii U. So I think I'm kind of agreeing with quite a few commentators on this. I think that Tesco have got a placeholder for the Nintendo NX, and they're probably gearing up because they know probably not very long. It's not very long now until Nintendo announce everything, and they're getting all their SKU codes ready and everything like that. I mean, interestingly, there is a SKU code on there, 5842011. So I'm going to Google that after I get off to see if it comes up with anything, because I don't think anyone has picked up on the SKU yet, or maybe they have. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the price. I think that was just a placeholder for the old Wii U, hence why it says Nintendo NX Wii U. But other than that, that's really the only news that's come out regarding Nintendo NX this week. Oh, and there was some stupid drawings from apparently an employee at Foxconn where they kind of produced the consoles, and it was just like a baby's drawing of what the Nintendo looked like, and it really looked like something out of like the 1960s. So unless Nintendo is going with a super retro design for the Nintendo NX, I very much believe that we can discount that stupid drawing. Famous last words. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for this week. I like to make them kind of short, so if you're on the commute or if you're on the tube or anything like that, you can have a quick listen to them, and you don't have to keep coming back and listening. I'd love to do a longer podcast, but I do it myself. I have to fit it in and around work commitments. But if you're enjoying what you're hearing, then please comment. I've been really happy about the response to my podcasts. So if you guys have got any ideas about what I could do to improve, anything like that, or you want to get involved, drop me a comment and I'll mention you in the next podcast. But for today, this is NintendoGBR signing off. All the best. Nintendo, give me some information, please.